up, guys? If you're looking to support the LocsNLoad YouTube channel, I would like for you guys to go to LocsNLoadFirearms.com and support the channel that way by purchasing a t-shirt or one of the other merches on there. If you're looking to support the Wagunda Nation store, go to wagundanation.net and pick up a patch, a hat, or a t-shirt again from one of our Teespring stores on the site. If you're looking to get firearm instruction for me, LocsNLoadFirearmInstruction.com. If you also want to know about certain things before you buy it, LocsNLoad consultation service on that same website will get you right. If you also want to support the LocsNLoad Firearm channel, go to Patreon, become a member. $1 gets you in, $5 gets you more access, $10 gets you all that, plus help support the channel. So guys, get in there, rock it out. LocsNLoad out.
All right, fire again. All right, impact dead center. All right, go to the 321.
All right, on.
Spotter ready. Impact dead center. Good shot. All right, lollipop. That is 347, 10-inch lollipop.
On target.
Fire one ready. Impact. Slight left, but center for your elevation. All right, go on to the 410.
All right, on target.
Fire one ready. You hit the grade stick.
Give
me a slight right hold. Impact, dead center, good shot. All right, let's go to that one with the orange outline, if you can see it from there.
No, the tree's in the way.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go on to the 538.
All right, on target.
Fire when ready. Just off the low left edge. Give me a slightly higher and right hold. Hold at the top shoulder with whatever you were just holding. Whatever mark on the BDC.
On target.
Fire when ready. Impact, dead center, good shot.
All right, guys, it's LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. All right, guys, I'm out back on the patio, and so what I wanted to do was answer some questions or give you guys some tips, because everyone saw me out shooting the DMR rifle, and so I always get a whole bunch of questions. What about this? What about that? All right, so I'm gonna give, I guess, my quick gun rundown of like DMR considerations. I guess things to think about when you're building a DMR or SPR, right? So first of all, if you don't know what a DMR is, it's designated marksman rifle. SPR is special purpose rifle. Alright, so basically a designated marksman is like in between a regular infantryman or marksman and a sniper, right? You're not trained to the levels of like a sniper, but you are capable of taking more precision, taking precision shots greater than like a regular infantryman. Let's say like regular infantry, they'll shoot at the 300, 500 if you're Marine, right? So between that 3 and 6, whatever, they're gonna need some kind of special purpose rifle to accurately engage targets out the distance. And so that's where like the DMR concept came in. You can watch other channels, they'll have more in-depth history about the DMR rifle, SPR rifle, whatever you want to call it, but normally DMR rifles are 16-inch or 18-inch rifles. You get up to 20 if you want to, but the way the military has them, the Mark 12 is an 18-inch designated marksman rifle. This one I have is a 16. 16 kind of fits my niche. It's still accurate, can shoot pretty far, and it's still not long. I can still use it for a CQB, right? And so I guess that's what I want to bring up. The first thing, when you're building your DMR, what is your purpose with that DMR? Is it something that is strictly a precision based? Like I'm just shooting off a bench, I just want the tightest groups possible. I'm not gonna be, really going through the woods or doing anything crazy with it. All right, cool. But if you're looking for like how we do in short bust, something like that type of purpose, then you're gonna need a rifle that fits that purpose. So this is my rifle, and again, it's more set up to be, I guess, the best of both worlds. It's a 16 inch, so it still has the velocity, the accuracy, and it can still reach out past 500 and still deliver some effect. But at the same time, with this 16-inch package and the collapsible stock, I can still compress this down enough to where if I had to do CQB, I can. And so that's why I built mine in a 16-inch package like how I have it now. So what I want to do is just kind of work from end to front and give you guys, I guess, considerations, things to think about when you're building your DMR or buying one. Alright, so the stock. Alright, so when you're getting this stock, take my sling off here. So as you can see, my stock is basically your standard AR-15, stock. It's not meant for really like precision, like where you can get set your cheek well, set your length of pull. It's not meant for that. It's basically just a stock. Nothing special, nothing fancy. I can put my QD sling in there, and I got my rubber band for when I want to retain my sling when I'm not using it. And at the same time, the reason why I went with this, because again, I want a rifle that kind of fitted both roles of long range and still being used for close range stuff. And so I like this stock because when I have body armor, it just fits in that little cut on my shoulder better. It's not so big and bulky. It's collapsible, so if I need to adjust it, I can. Like if I gotta make entry in a room, I can collapse it down, get nice and compact. If I go prone somewhere and need to take a precision shot, I can extend that length of pull out for me, and it helps me in my stabilization. And then it's not big, it's not heavy, it's more streamlined, it's not anything jutting off to the sides crazy like that. But if you want a precision stock, like again, if you're not trying to make that thing for CQB or be versatile, it's just strictly for shooting precision groups, then you can go out and get you like a Luth stock. And that one, you can raise up the cheek weld, you can set your length of pull, you got a little spot to grab back there for precision shooting. So again, what is it that you want to do with this rifle before you build it? So if you want it to be tactical, then you might not want that big precision stock, because trying to shoot that in body armor, a big heavy stock, trying to like put in your shoulder, break around the corner and put this big heavy stock in your shoulder is doable, but not as effective or efficient as something like this. All right, so again, something to consider. All right, moving on up. Receivers, lower receivers, upper receivers, do they matter too much when it comes to precision? In my experience, I haven't really noticed anything. Like this is an Anderson lower, and I believe an Anderson upper. Yeah, Anderson lower with an Anderson upper. So again, very budget based. It's not anything super expensive, and I have great accuracy out of these receivers. So again, I'm not gonna really harp on them. I just say buy something that's in spec. Make sure your upper and lower receiver and all the pins, the triggers, the springs and everything, they fit that receiver, and you don't have to jerry rig a whole bunch of shit. Alright, triggers. Okay, this is my personal preference for triggers on DMRs are two-stage triggers. Right? I like two-stage triggers because right before I break it, allows me to take just a little bit of take up. So it makes my break that much cleaner, crisper, and shorter than like a single stage, or let's say if I have like a combat grade trigger where it's like 5 pounds or something, it's all gritty and it's not very suited for precision shooting. So I like two-stage triggers. This is a single stage, you can do it, but I prefer two-stage because I've had moments where I'd be like, I want to break a shot and I'm just applying a little bit of pressure and it'll break right before I really want it to, and I don't really like that. I like to have my trigger break exactly when I want to, and I like to take a little bit of take up, take it up, require my sights, take a deep breath, then I'll break that 2 pounds or whatnot left on that trigger. And that's again my preference. I've just noticed I'm a bit more accurate with a 2-stage trigger versus a single stage. Now you might be different. It's just something you got to play with, but I just know, notably, when it comes to DMR guns or precision guns, 2-stage triggers are, especially when it comes to ARs, 2-stage triggers is really where you want to be. So that's what I honestly recommend, 2-stage triggers. I've had the best luck with them, and I'm gonna replace this trigger with a 2-stage one. Right? Okay. Before I get on the optic, bolt carriers. Do bolt carriers matter in accuracy? I'm sure they do to a certain point, but really you just want a good bolt carrier to make sure it reliably cycles your ammunition. You're not going to have a whole bunch of stoppages or rounds not feeding into chamber reliably. So that's what I would say with bolt carriers. You know, you don't have to get like a super fancy precision based bolt carrier. Now you can honestly get, what is this? I got a Fostech nickel boron bolt carrier, so works fine. You know, you get you a BCM, you get you an Arrow precision bolt carrier. Those will work fine for you. You don't have to spend $200, $300, $400, $500 on a bolt carrier. Okay, but now where you do want to put your money, there are two places in the DMR: the optic and the barrel. All right, so we're gonna talk about the optic. Granted, disclosure, this optic was sent to me by Primary Arms a while ago, and I've been using it on a number of rifles, and it's found itself on this one. It's made a nice home on this rifle, I'll say. So this rifle though, if you buy it, it's right under $600, like 5 something. Like again, it's like $500 some dollars, but again, for $500, you get a 3-18 scope. It's got illuminated reticle. It's got the parallax settings on the side, so if you're shooting out to 100, you can dial it to 100, make your target look clear and crisp. If you're shooting out to 300, you can do that. Dial it to 300, make your target look nice and crisp and not so blurry. And out to, they have infinity, so if you're shooting past 500 yards, you set it to infinity, and then you can see clear all your targets out there clearly, or better than, you know, if you didn't have a parallax setting. You can adjust the knob for your eyes, because with eyes is different. Some people pick up things better than others. You have, you know, your elevation and your windage. And you can zero them, which means once you find your zero, right, you take the caps and you move it to the 0, 0, like 0 for the elevation, 0 for the windage, right? And you do that because once you find your zero, you know, let's say we'll zero at 100 yards. When you shoot at 300 yards, you know, your point of aim, point of impact is going to be different. So when you dial, let's say you come up like an inch or two, and you know you got to come over to the left. Well, now you lost your 100 yard zero. If you want to return back to that 100 yard zero at the end of the day, after you've done your shooting, you know, the zero you had set it to previously, you return your dials back to 0, and now you're just back at that 0, right? And so that's why it's good to have. I think it's called a zero stop. Don't beat me up if I'm wrong, but it allows you to basically find your zero, unscrew the top, take that out, and you actually take this whole cap off, and, you know, move it to the 0 side, put it down, screw the cap back in, and it was set at 0, and all the dials you do from there, you know, will work. And then when you're done, you can dial back down to 0, and that original 0 you had is now back on your gun. Probably a better way of saying it, but sorry, whatever. At least you get the gist. But you do want to invest in a good optic. Now, what is a good magnification for a DMR? It depends. What is your engagement zone? Now, if you're shooting, let's say, like 300 yards, and that's really about as far as you're shooting, then yeah, like a 1-8, 1-6 is fine. But the problem is, when we do short butt stuff, you know, we have like targets really hard. We'll have an AK mag hitting out. We'll have like a canteen or a pack hitting in the bush. Those 1-8s and 1-6s, while they do give you good magnification, it doesn't give you very good positive identification, you know, for those little small objects that you really want to pick out, you know, because again, no one's really just going to be in the bush like bright orange shirt, just hey, I'm right here. You know, they're going to be wearing green in the wooden area, blending in with the environment. So you're not gonna see like a whole white painted, blue painted, red painted human silhouette just standing fully silhouetted in a bush. You know, you might find like a shoulder and then behind a bush, and you just kind of have to figure out, you know, if I can see a human shoulder, fill in the picture of what's going on behind that. Or, you know, you might just see like their face or whatnot, just like a little piece of them. And so that's where getting a higher magnification scope like this 3-18, 3-15, 4-16, 6-24s, you know, 5-25s, those type of scopes, those are where I would recommend those on a DMR rifle, because a lot of times, you know, again, the cool YouTubers and shit, they make it look nice and cool, right? But they don't make it look realistic. When we do short buzz training, we make it look realistic. So when we were shooting our targets out in the woods doing our patrols and drills, like those targets are camouflaged, they're black, they're brown and green, or hidden very well the way it will be in actual shooting. And so that's how we train ourselves. And so myself, when I used that 1-8 on my SOCOM, I had a hell of a time finding those targets, even finding those hidden human silhouette targets at 250 yards, just because of the environment and, you know, all the leaves and the branches, not being able to just pick out those telltale things that like this 3-18, when I use, I'm able to really see, like not just like a bush, but literally you see in the bush, between the bush, behind the bush, you know, that level of magnification. So definitely, when it comes to a DMR, get you a good magnification scope and a scope with good clarity too, because if everything's blurry, you know, 200, 300 yards, you can't really ID what you're shooting. You can't see where your rounds are impacting. It's not good. It's not advantageous for a DMR. So definitely invest in a good scope. There's a whole bunch of people out there. You don't have to always get Night Force and spend $1,000. You know, again, Primary Arms, good budget option. Vortex, good budget option. Addy Ball, good budget option. PFI Optics, I've had their 3-12, great scope, budget option. Is it Addion? I don't know, their little the $500 optic that they have on their site, good budget optic, right? So you don't have to spend $1,000 plus, you know, unless you really want to, right? So there's that. All right, moving on. I guess while we're in this section of the rifle, we'll talk magazines. All right, definitely when you have a DMR, you definitely want to invest in some 20-round magazines, because when you go prone, these 20-round magazines allow you to get lower to the ground, right? And so you're not sitting up so high, which makes you less of a target, being low to the ground, harder to hit, all right, and also harder to detect, right? So get low to the ground, invest in some 20-rounders. I do have 30-rounders. 30-rounders will work, but again, like I said, you're gonna have to raise up your bipod in order to get low enough. You see how I'm hitting the table now at this point, you know, in order to take those shots. So 20-rounders, definitely invest in like 2, 3, 4 of these, right? They're worth their weight in gold. I highly recommend 20-round mags, especially for DMRs, because you definitely want to get low to the ground. It helps in your stability, makes you less of a target. You're not sitting up silhouetted, right? And if you are getting shot at, you definitely don't want to be high off the ground. You want to get as low as possible. Okay, so 20-round mags, invest in them, but also 30-round mags, make sure you have them, just in case. Like I said, if you're building your rifle for that two-purpose, that dual rifle, I guess I'll say, then you definitely want to have 30-rounders, just in case you have to, you know, really gunfight, put out rounds, CQB type stuff, right? 30-rounders, have those. 20-rounders for precision. That's my quick rundown on magazines. This is a pro mag. Magpul makes good mags. Lancer makes good mags. They're also ASC. They make good mags. OK Industries, they make good mags. Surefeed makes good mags. there's a lot of good mags out there. You know, I just can't go through all of them. But definitely just make sure you get good mags. 20 round mags. If you're doing like precision based shooting, you want to get low to the ground. You need to make sure you have your 30s just in case things get spicy. Moving on. All right, handguards. When it comes to handguards, they got quad rails. No, you got key mod, you got M-lock. Does it really matter the mounting system like that? No. What you do want to make sure your handguard does is free float, right? So that means your handguard is not, let's see, if you see right here, the handguard is literally not touching the rifle barrel at all. And the barrel is just, the only part of the barrel that's touching the rifle is right here in this section where the barrel nut and the receiver meet. And the barrel's actually like, you know, the barrel, we're adults here, right? We're adults. So you have the barrel, you got the receiver, meets. You got the barrel nut that locks it together. That's the only place this barrel is touching this rifle, right? So definitely another good place. I'm getting too ahead of myself. So definitely handguard. Make sure it's free floated, right? And also you make sure you have enough length of a handguard to where you're gonna want to mount a bipod, but also you have enough to put your hands, right? And another thing I learned from Keith doing in short bus when we be shooting like from that rock pile is that when you're trying to shoot in like a small space, like say to see the width of this table, let's say, you know, you're in like a rock and you're trying to put this big rifle between that small space. It's gonna be hard to put that bipod and to crunch up on this rifle small enough to get in a nice stable shooting position. So what Keith did, and I kind of copied, is that I took a Picatinny rail, put it behind my little foregrip here, and that's so when I'm in that situation, I can take my bipod off with a QD mount, mount it to the back of my rifle like this, and so when I do get like in that rock position, the bipod is on the rock, and I'm back here in that nice and closed space with the barrel overhanging the rock. And so it's like shooting like that, and so I'm able to accurately get my shots and then traverse on the target. When I'm done, I can just return it back to the normal position, and then I'm good to go. So that's my take on handguards for your DMR. Make sure it's free floated, and make sure you got enough rail space. To mount your bipod. You know, you want a foregrip, angle foregrip, you got that. I'll say a little spot to have a backup Picatinny section just in case you need to crunch up and get in a tighter shooting position but still maintain your stability. Alright. Okay, before I go, slings. A whole bunch of slings out there. I'm not really gonna say too much about them. Just make sure you get a good sling, and I like slings that I can adjust, you know, for length of pull. Because let's say if I have to shoot offhand, shooting like this is cool, but if I want to take a precision shot, I'm gonna take my sling, wrap my arm around it, you know, probably a little too much. Okay. So I put my arm through. All right, now it's nice and tight. So when I put it on my shoulder, it just feels nice and tighter, and I feel like I got a little bit more stabilization than if I just offhanded it without my sling wrapped around my arm. So, but besides that, normal sling, I got two QD slots right on the end of the receiver, right at the back of the receiver. No, it's up to you where you want to put your sling. Just make sure you work with it and you practice with it. And when you're not using it, make sure you have a way to stow your sling. So that's why I have this Ranger band at the back of my rifle, so I can stow my sling when I'm not using it. Alright. Now to what I think is the most important part of a DMR. I would say number one on a DMR, because again, even if you don't have, you can have a red dot, but on this gun, but if your barrel is not putting the rounds where you want it to, then the whole point of the DMR concept is pointless, right? Why have a precision-based gun that doesn't have any precision, right? So definitely, if you're gonna invest money in anything in your gun, it needs to be the barrel. And again, even with the barrel, you don't even have to spend that much money. My recommended, my top two recommendations for barrels, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, is Roscoe Manufacturing or Ballistic Advantage. Those are my two go-to barrels. If you look at short bust, I'm pretty sure everybody in short bust right now is either using Roscoe or Ballistic Advantage. We got long range precision day, so I got my SOCOM 308. I got my DMR 5.56. This is Eric's 18-inch SPR from Roscoe. This is Keith's 16-inch from Roscoe. This is Vince's 16. We got another 16. We got Chris's 12. Some little shorties. And the Global War and Terror. I like this one. This one brings me back to Navy. I like this. My 11.5 is a Roscoe Manufacturing barrel, and this right here is a Ballistic Advantage barrel. This is my second DMR, and I've used both of them have been Ballistic Advantage. Right? Maybe I'll do a video on why the difference between Roscoe and Ballistic. But again, those are my two recommendations for budget barrels. And I'm talking about, like, their barrels are easily under $160, right? For like if you don't want something special from like Ballistic Advantage. Alright, I wanted something special. I wanted something special from Ballistic Advantage, so I spent like $250, $260 on a barrel. But that's because it fit what I wanted. Now, if you're just getting into the DMR game and you don't really know that, like, you're not into like barrel harmonics or heat dispersion or things like that, you don't really know all that, or like, why they tape up barrels at the end versus back here, or why you want this part of the barrel to be thicker than out here. If you don't know all that, then honestly, I would just tell you to get like a Roscoe or a Ballistic Advantage. Is like one of their $120 barrels, because those are guaranteed sub MOA. And so when you're looking at precision, I mean, sub MOA, right? If you get a $150 barrel that shoots sub MOA, and you get a $900 barrel from, like, I don't know, Proof Research or whoever, right? And that's sub MOA. I mean, like, damn, like, how sub MOA can you get? Like, if the thing's accurate, it's accurate. So that's just my philosophy. I can get a sub MOA barrel for under $300. I'm not gonna spend $900 on a sub MOA barrel, right? Getting budget minded. This is a good video if you were like budget minded and you want this, but budget wise, this is a good video for you, right? Because everything on here is budget. If you think I'm spending top dollar for anything on my guns, no, I'm not. Guys, I make some of y'all watching this probably make more money than me, right? It's just YouTube shit gives me better access to shit, so I don't have to spend that money. So thank God. But besides that, if I'm spending my money, I'm gonna buy the best budget thing out there. And this is pretty much close to it. There are some more things I want to get to, but it's pretty much almost there. Do you have to have a light on your DMR? No, I just kind of put it there because, again, for my role, I wanted it to be a dual, right? CQB and long range. So if I had a CQB, I want some kind of light. So I went ahead and threw an X300, and no, it doesn't interfere with my scope. I actually don't see it at all. Even on the lowest setting, the 3X setting, I don't see this light at all. So no issues. Bipods, definitely invest in a good bipod. Do you need to spend a lot of money? No. I know Atlas bipods are like the bee's knees, but they're like $200 some for a bipod. You know, like that's a lot of money, right? So what I recommend is what kind of Keith has. He's got an ADM mount, American Defense Manufacturing mount. You can get it off Amazon. And then he has a Harris bipod. Also, you can get off Amazon. Harris bipods are well known. I guess if you want a decent buy once, cry once bipod that's been there, combat proven, reliable, and something you're not really gonna have to replace, then I would definitely go with a Harris bipod. This is a UTG bipod because, again, budget minded. I'm cheap. It's not the best bipod. It's doable. You know, it'll get you in the game. But definitely, this is something I'm gonna replace with that ADM mount and that Harris bipod, and that would have my bipod solution good to go. Yeah, and lastly, I want to get this out. Muzzle devices, flash hiders, muzzle brakes. Which one should I go with?
Recording.
Good.
Yep.
I know, it's like 210 though. Alright, put it right here. Right in that little pocket. The closer you get on it, the better. Yep. Makes it hard. You gotta pinch it. You can do it.
And then what way?
Keep trying. Open your first beer.
Split.
There you go.
Drinks on me.
Oh yeah. That's a good shot right there. Good hits, Thomas.
And again, that is up to you. I typically prefer flash hiders because I care about the people to my left and my right. Now, if you don't care about the people to your left and right, then I would definitely get a muzzle brake because it's like no recoil at all. Especially on a 16-inch with this flash hider, the recoil is very soft and mitigated already, right? So if I had a muzzle brake this thing, like your follow-up shots are just gonna like bing, bing, right? Double tapping things very, very easy. My last DMR had a muzzle brake. Very flat shooting, just way too loud. The concussion, even in a 16-inch, it still disturbs other people next to you. So I recommend flash hiders on my DMRs.
All right, I'm ready.
Three shots. On you. Two more. One more.
One more?
Yep. Is that the dot you're aiming at?
Yes, in a dot.
Oh, is that the dot?
And then two, let's say if you did actually have to start engaging people or shooting at someone, muzzle brakes give off, they can. Usually it's in shorter barrels that you get a big muzzle flash, but even in like the 16s, you still can't get a flash. But it's the fact that, you know, it blows off all that gas and smoke to the side. So if you're shooting, like, let's say like a real sandy or dirty area, you know, every time you shoot, now you just get a huge smoke signature from both sides. And somebody's like, well, shit, there's a whole bunch of smoke coming over there from that rock 300 yards away, so I'll just shoot over there. And you don't want that, so that's, again, another reason why I recommend flash hiders. You know, less of a chance of a muzzle flash. Doesn't eliminate it 100%, but pretty much it can get rid of your muzzle flash, you know, to where you're not even really worried about it. It doesn't give away your signature, you know, i.e. like dust or branches flying, breaking off trees and falling and all that stuff. So that's why, again, I recommend it. And they don't seem as loud. I don't know, muzzle brakes, I guess because, I don't know, flat tires make the noise just go forward, and muzzle brakes is off to the side. Muzzle brakes just sound so loud and obnoxious, and if you're right next to somebody shooting a muzzle brake, it's just like every time they shoot, it just rattles your brain, bro, and it's just like, all right, stop shooting, or just get a suppressor, please, God. Right. And so I feel that's about it. Charging handles on DMRs don't really matter too much. Find a charging handle you like. I got a mil-spec one because I'm not really doing any crazy anything with it, but eventually I will replace it with an ambi charging handle. I'm not super worried about it right now. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned, the barrel I did go with was a Ballistic Advantage 223 Wild Hansen profile barrel, right? And I guess I'll give you that'll be my last little tip for DMR. 223 Wild is a good barrel caliber, chambering you want, because it allows you to shoot 223 and 5.56 accurately, right? And I think I did a whole video on that before, the difference between 223 and 5.56. It's not like a huge super difference. It's just one is operating at higher pressures than the other one, right? One's more made for military and one is more made for a civilian, right? So yeah, 223 Wild barrels are my choice for DMR guns. Stainless steel barrels are known to be inherently more accurate than non-stainless steel. Does that mean you get like a 4150 barrel chrome moly radium? I can't even say it right. I just say chrome moly, right? If you get like one of those, does that mean it's not gonna be accurate? No. Again, if you get those Roscoe's Ballistic Advantage, they're not stainless steel, those budget barrels, but they still sub MOA accuracy. The only thing is just over time, the way a stainless steel barrel erodes, it maintains accuracy better than a non-stainless steel barrel. And that's why a lot of precision guns have stainless steel. You know, there's other properties to it, but that's really the gist, is that it maintains your accuracy longer as the barrel erodes versus a non-stainless steel barrel. Right? So again, this is a very basic video, so what I'm gonna do eventually, I'm gonna get short bus. I'm gonna get short bus, and we're all gonna have like a real in-depth sit down talk. It'll probably be like an hour, close to 2 hours long, but it's gonna be all the information you really want to need or have, and maybe some information you probably don't really want or need or have. But that is my quick gun rant rundown for like DMR considerations. If you're looking into building a DMR gun, does it need to be very expensive? No. You just need to put your money where it really matters, and make sure you really work with your gun and use it. Don't just spend money, build it out, go to range, zero it, and just put it in the safe. Really get out there and, like, if you can, and do some exercise to get your heart rate up, and then get down and try to take some precision shots. Right? Become proficient with your gun outside of just flat range shooting. If you can. Alright, besides that, I think I've beaten the horse pretty dead, y'all. Yeah. So if you got any questions, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. And that way, when I drop a video, you get notified. Because if you just hit subscribe, YouTube is not going to tell you when I drop a video. I don't know if YouTube shadow bans, but I feel like they have, because the view count's been going down, right? And like the videos don't pop up like they used to, so I don't know what YouTube's doing out there. Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna keep it pushing over here. So anyway, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.
Going.
All right, rolling?
Rolling.
All right. 12.5 at 250.